What if I told you that one of the most powerful tools for improving male vitality has been sitting in your kitchen this entire time? And no, I'm not exaggerating. Olive oil has been used for thousands of years across ancient civilizations, not just for cooking, but as a cornerstone of male wellness. The ancient Greeks, the Romans, the Egyptians, they all understood something about this golden liquid that modern science is only now beginning to confirm. But here's the thing most people get wrong. Using olive oil by itself is only scratching the surface. When you combine it with certain specific natural ingredients, you unlock a level of benefit that olive oil alone simply cannot deliver. And today, I'm going to walk you through exactly what those ingredients are, why they work, and how the science supports every single one of them. I'm Dr. Sofia Carter, and in this video, I'm going to share some fascinating research that most people have never heard of. So make sure you stay until the end, because the last combination I'll share with you is one that even most health professionals don't know about. Before we dive into the combinations, let's first understand why olive oil serves as such an exceptional base in the first place. Because once you understand the science behind the oil itself, everything else will make so much more sense. Extra virgin olive oil is rich in monounsaturated fatty acids, particularly oleic acid, which makes up roughly 70 to 80% of its total fat content. Oleic acid is remarkable because of its ability to penetrate the outer layers of the skin efficiently. Unlike many other carrier oils that simply sit on the surface, oleic acid has a molecular structure that allows it to move through the lipid barrier of the skin and carry other beneficial compounds along with it. This is what makes olive oil such an extraordinary delivery vehicle. Whatever you mix into it gets absorbed more effectively than it would on its own. But the story goes deeper than just absorption. Extra virgin olive oil contains powerful polyphenol, including hydroxytyrosol and oleuropein. These compounds are potent antioxidants that protect cells from oxidative damage. They also support healthy blood flow by promoting the production of nitric oxide, which is the molecule responsible for relaxing and widening blood vessels. And I cannot stress this enough. Healthy blood flow is absolutely foundational when we're talking about male vitality and overall wellness in sensitive areas of the body. Without adequate circulation, no amount of supplementation or topical application will deliver the results you're looking for. Everything starts with blood flow. Everything. Olive oil also has natural anti-inflammatory properties that deserve serious attention. Oleocanthal, another compound found exclusively in high-quality extra virgin olive oil, has been shown in research to have anti-inflammatory effects similar to certain over-the-counter medications. This is critically important because chronic low-grade inflammation can compromise tissue health, reduce sensitivity, and interfere with the body's natural physiological responses. When inflammation is present in tissues, cellular communication breaks down, nerve signaling becomes impaired, and the overall responsiveness of the tissue diminishes significantly. By reducing this inflammation, olive oil helps create an environment where tissues can function at their best. There's another aspect of olive oil that often gets overlooked, and that's its effect on the skin's moisture barrier. The fatty acids in olive oil closely resemble the natural lipids found in human skin. This means olive oil doesn't just sit on the surface like a synthetic product would. It integrates with your skin's own protective layer, nourishing it from within while maintaining its natural integrity. For delicate, sensitive areas, this compatibility is incredibly important because it means you're supporting the tissue rather than disrupting it. So when you use extra virgin olive oil as a base, you're already providing antioxidant protection, anti-inflammatory support, enhanced circulation through nitric oxide production, superior absorption capacity for other compounds, and natural moisture barrier support. That is a remarkable foundation. Now let's talk about what to combine with it, because this is where things get truly exciting. The first ingredient you should consider adding to your olive oil is ginger. Fresh ginger root or high-quality ginger essential oil can be an absolute game changer, and the research behind it is compelling. Ginger contains bioactive compounds called gingerols and shogales, and these compounds have been studied extensively for their profound effects on circulation. Gingerols work by stimulating blood flow to peripheral tissues. They create a gentle warming effect that is not just something you feel on the surface. It reflects an actual measurable increase in microcirculation, meaning blood flow to the smallest capillaries and blood vessels in the applied area. Now let me explain why this matters so much. The tissues in sensitive areas of the male body depend heavily on microcirculation. These aren't areas served by large arteries. They rely on a dense network of tiny blood vessels to deliver oxygen, nutrients, and hormonal signals. When microcirculation improves, every aspect of tissue function improves along with it. Sensitivity increases, responsiveness improves, and the overall health of the tissue is better maintained over time. A number of studies published in peer-reviewed journals have demonstrated that ginger compounds improve vasodilation, which is the widening of blood vessels. When blood vessels widen, more oxygen-rich blood reaches the tissues, which supports cellular health, nutrient delivery, and overall tissue responsiveness. The warming sensation you experience when ginger is applied topically is a direct physical reflection of this increased circulation happening in real time. Ginger also has significant antioxidant properties of its own. When combined with the polyphenol already present in olive oil, you get a compounding antioxidant effect that provides exceptional protection against oxidative stress at the cellular level. Oxidative stress is one of the key factors that contributes to declining tissue health and responsiveness over time, so this protection is not something to underestimate. To use ginger with olive oil, you can finally grate a small amount of fresh ginger root and infuse it into warm extra virgin olive oil, allowing the active compounds to release into the oil over 15 to 20 minutes. Strain it thoroughly, and what you're left with is a potent circulation-boosting blend. If you're using ginger essential oil instead, just a few drops mixed into a tablespoon of olive oil is sufficient. Always start with a small amount to assess your skin's tolerance, because ginger is potent and you want to make sure the concentration is comfortable for your individual skin type before applying it more broadly. The second ingredient, and this one has a remarkably long history in traditional wellness practices around the world, is clove. Clove contains a compound called eugenol, and eugenol is one of the most extensively researched natural compounds when it comes to its effects on nerve endings and tissue sensitivity. What makes eugenol so fascinating from a scientific perspective is its ability to modulate nerve signaling at the application site. And I want to break this down carefully because it's truly remarkable. Eugenol interacts with specific ion channels in nerve endings, particularly something called the TRPV1 receptor. These receptors play a key role in how your body perceives sensation. When eugenol activates these channels, it creates an initial mild warming and slight numbing sensation, followed by a period of heightened sensitivity as blood flow to the area increases substantially. This dual action is what makes clove so completely unique among natural ingredients. It essentially recalibrates the nerve response in the applied area, which can support more balanced, more controlled, and more sustained physiological responses. Clove also brings powerful antimicrobial and antioxidant properties to the blend, which help protect the delicate skin in sensitive areas from irritation, microbial imbalance, and oxidative stress. This protective quality is especially valuable because the skin in these areas is thinner and more susceptible to irritation than skin elsewhere on the body. To combine clove with olive oil, use clove essential oil very sparingly. I want to emphasize this point. 2 to 3 drops in a full tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil is more than enough. Clove is extremely concentrated, and using too much can cause significant discomfort, so moderation and careful measurement are absolutely essential with this particular ingredient. Mix it thoroughly and allow it to blend for a few minutes before any application. The third ingredient is one that might genuinely surprise you, and that's fenugreek. Fenugreek seeds have been used in Ayurvedic and traditional Middle Eastern medicine for centuries, and they were specifically prized for their role in supporting male wellness. Modern science has now begun to validate what these ancient practitioners observed through generations of careful use. Fenugreek contains compounds called furanolix saponins, which have been shown in multiple clinical research studies to support the body's natural hormonal balance. Several peer-reviewed studies have demonstrated that fenugreek supplementation is associated with improved markers of male vitality, including energy, stamina, and overall physiological performance. But what's far less commonly known, and what I find particularly interesting, is that fenugreek also contains a compound called diosgenin. Diosgenin is a plant-based steroidal sapogenin that has been studied for its effects on tissue health and circulation when absorbed through the skin. Diosgenin appears to support local blood flow to the applied area and may help maintain the health and flexibility of smooth muscle tissue. Smooth muscle is the type of tissue that lines blood vessel walls and plays an absolutely critical role in male physiological responses. When smooth muscle tissue is healthy and functioning optimally, blood vessels can dilate and constrict properly, which is essential for normal physiological function. When smooth muscle health declines, so does vascular responsiveness, and that has direct consequences for male vitality. To prepare a fenugreek and olive oil blend, you can soak whole fenugreek seeds in extra virgin olive oil for 24 to 48 hours at room temperature. This slow infusion process allows the fat-soluble compounds in the seeds to gradually release into the oil without being damaged by heat. After straining through a fine mesh cloth, you have a beautifully golden fenugreek-infused olive oil that combines the absorption-enhancing properties of the oil with the potent bioactive compounds of the seeds. Some people also grind the seeds into a very fine powder and mix it directly into warm olive oil for a faster preparation, though the slow cold infusion method tends to produce a more refined end product. The fourth ingredient is black seed oil, also known as Nigella sativa oil. And honestly, if there's one natural ingredient in the world that deserves far more attention than it currently gets, it's this one. Black seed oil has been described in historical texts across multiple cultures as a remedy for everything except death itself. While that's obviously poetic exaggeration from ancient times, the modern published research on black seed oil is genuinely impressive in both its breadth and its depth. The primary active compound in black seed oil is called thymoquinone. Thymoquinone is a powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory agent that has been the subject of hundreds of published research papers in respected scientific journals. When it comes to male wellness specifically, thymoquinone has demonstrated a remarkable range of benefits. It has shown the ability to protect reproductive cells from oxidative damage, support healthy hormonal production pathways, and improve blood flow through its direct effects on nitric oxide signaling mechanisms. What's particularly noteworthy about thymoquinone is how it enhances nitric oxide availability. It does this through multiple pathways, both by stimulating the enzyme that produces nitric oxide and by protecting existing nitric oxide molecules from being broken down by free radicals. This means that thymoquinone doesn't just help your body make more nitric oxide. It helps the nitric oxide your body already produces last longer and work more effectively. When you combine this with olive oil's own nitric oxide supporting polyphenol, you get a compounding effect that is truly greater than the sum of its parts. When combined with olive oil, black seed oil creates what I consider to be one of the most powerfully synergistic blends available from natural ingredients. The oleic acid in olive oil enhances the absorption of thymoquinone through the skin, while the olive oil's own polyphenol work alongside thymoquinone to provide comprehensive, multi-layered antioxidant protection. Together, they support circulation, reduce local inflammation, protect cells from oxidative damage, and help maintain the health and responsiveness of the tissues in the applied area over both the short and long term. The ratio I recommend is roughly 1 part black seed oil to 3 parts extra virgin olive oil. This gives you a blend that's potent enough to deliver meaningful therapeutic amounts of thymoquinone without being too intense or irritating on the skin. Black seed oil has a distinctive strong aroma that some people find overwhelming, so the olive oil also helps dilute the scent to a much more pleasant and tolerable level. The fifth ingredient, and this is the one I mentioned at the very beginning that even most health professionals aren't aware of for topical use, is ashwagandha. Now, most people know ashwagandha as an oral supplement taken for stress management and energy support. It's become incredibly popular in recent years for those purposes. But what's far less commonly known is that ashwagandha root extract contains fat-soluble compounds called withanolides that can actually be absorbed through the skin when properly infused into an appropriate carrier oil like extra virgin olive oil. Withanolides are classified as steroidal lactones, and they have been shown in research to support the body's adaptive stress response at the cellular level. Now here's why this matters for topical applications specifically. When tissues anywhere in the body are under chronic low-grade stress, whether from accumulated oxidative damage, persistent low-level inflammation, inadequate circulation, or hormonal imbalances, their ability to function optimally declines progressively over time. Withanolides appear to help normalize these cellular stress responses, essentially helping stress tissues return to a healthier, more responsive baseline state. Several well-designed studies have specifically examined the effects of ashwagandha on male wellness markers, and the results have been consistently and impressively positive across multiple parameters. While the majority of these studies involved oral supplementation, the fat-soluble nature of withanolides makes them excellent theoretical candidates for topical delivery when properly dissolved in an appropriate carrier oil. Extra virgin olive oil, with its superior skin penetration properties and its natural compatibility with the lipid structures of human skin, is arguably the ideal carrier available for this particular compound. To create an ashwagandha-infused olive oil at home, you can add high-quality ashwagandha root powder to warm extra virgin olive oil and allow it to steep on very low gentle heat for 1 to 2 hours. This careful warming helps extract the fat-soluble withanolides into the oil without damaging their delicate molecular structure, which is critical for maintaining their biological activity. Strain the mixture carefully and thoroughly through a fine cloth or cheesecloth, and you're left with a uniquely potent blend that targets cellular stress pathways and supports healthy tissue function at the application site. Now let me share a bonus ingredient that pairs beautifully with any and all of the combinations I've already described, and that's vitamin E oil. Vitamin E, specifically in its natural D-alpha-tocopherol form, is one of the most well-established and thoroughly researched nutrients for skin health and tissue repair anywhere in the scientific literature. It's a fat-soluble antioxidant, which means it integrates seamlessly into olive oil and enhances the overall protective capacity of any blend you create. Vitamin E supports the structural integrity of cell membranes, provides powerful protection against oxidative damage caused by free radicals, and actively promotes healthy tissue regeneration and repair. Adding just a few drops of natural vitamin E oil to any of the olive oil combinations we've discussed today amplifies the total antioxidant effect of the blend and provides an additional protective layer for the delicate skin in sensitive areas. As a practical bonus, it also helps extend the shelf life of your oil blends by preventing the fatty acids from oxidizing and going rancid, which means your carefully prepared blends will maintain their potency for significantly longer. Now I want to emphasize something critically important about all of these combinations, and I really want you to take this to heart. Quality matters enormously. In fact, quality might be the single most important factor determining whether these blends work well for you or don't work at all. When I say extra virgin olive oil, I mean genuine, cold-pressed, extra virgin olive oil from a reputable source. Unfortunately, much of what's sold as extra virgin in stores today is actually refined or blended with lower quality oils. Studies have shown that a significant percentage of olive oils labeled as extra virgin fail to meet the actual chemical standards for that classification. The polyphenol content, the oleic acid concentration, and the overall purity of the oil directly affect how well it works, both as a standalone product and as a carrier for these additional ingredients. Look for olive oil that's stored in dark glass bottles, has a harvest date clearly printed on the label, ideally comes from a single source region rather than being a blend of oils from multiple countries, and has certifications from recognized olive oil quality organizations. The exact same principle of quality applies to every single ingredient you combine with the oil. Fresh, organic ginger root will dramatically outperform dry ginger powder that's been sitting on a shelf for 2 years, losing its potency. High-quality clove essential oil from a trusted, transparent supplier will be more effective and considerably safer than a cheap, potentially adulterated version of unknown origin. Black seed oil should always be cold-pressed, stored in dark glass, and completely free of additives or fillers. Ashwagandha powder should be sourced from a reputable company that performs third-party testing for purity, potency, and contaminant levels. The quality of your ingredients directly and proportionally determines the quality of your results. This is not an area where cutting corners to save a few dollars makes any sense. I also want to strongly emphasize the critical importance of patch testing any new blend before applying it to sensitive areas of the body. Everyone's skin chemistry is different, everyone's sensitivity levels are different, and what works beautifully and comfortably for one person might cause irritation or discomfort in another. Apply a small amount of any new blend to the inside of your forearm first and wait at least 24 hours to carefully check for any signs of redness, irritation, itching, or any other adverse reaction. This simple, easy step can save you a great deal of unnecessary discomfort and is something I always recommend to everyone regardless of how natural and gentle the ingredients might seem. Natural does not automatically mean universally gentle or irritation-free, and certain compounds like eugenol from clove or gingerols from ginger are quite pharmacologically potent and must always be used in carefully measured, appropriate concentrations. What makes all of these combinations so remarkably effective is the concept of synergy between the carrier oil and the active compounds. Olive oil doesn't just sit there passively as an inert base. It actively participates in the therapeutic process by enhancing transdermal absorption, providing its own substantial antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds, supporting nitric oxide production through its polyphenol content, maintaining skin barrier integrity, and creating an optimal biochemical environment for the additional ingredients to perform their specific functions at the target tissue. It's this multi-layered synergistic effect that makes the combinations so dramatically more powerful than any single ingredient used in isolation. The science of topical absorption and transdermal delivery is an entire established field of pharmaceutical research, and scientists have known for decades that the right carrier vehicle can dramatically and measurably change how effectively an active compound reaches its target tissue and how long it remains biologically active there. Extra virgin olive oil happens to be one of the very best natural carriers available for lipophilic compounds due to its unique fatty acid profile, its exceptional skin compatibility, and its own inherent bioactive properties that complement virtually any ingredient you choose to combine with it. If you found this information valuable, please share this video with someone who might benefit from it and make sure to subscribe to the channel for more evidence-based health content. I'm Dr. Sofia Carter, and I'll see you in the next one.